What is up, everybody? Your buddy Miles here, and welcome to the latest episode of ShoBooVie. For those of you who've never been here before, ShoBooVie is basically just me and all of my ego reviewing shows, books, and movies. Hence the awesome logo that my sister Deanna made. Shout out Deanna. She also made the website, which is super cool, and also has reviews for all of these things too, shows, books, and movies. So go crazy, check out the site. I review way too many things, just anything that I'm watching, new and old. So check it out. But anyway, what we usually do on this episode is, like I said, I would take a show, a book, and a movie, and I would draw a sort of thread theme across them and show how each piece of media analyzes it. But we're going to do something a little bit different today. But something I want to let you guys know up front, in case you've never been with ShoBooVie before, is this is sort of like a stream of consciousness kind of scenario because I don't want to learn how to edit. It seems really hard and time consuming. And I'm getting old, guys, and can't teach an old dog new tricks. I don't feel like learning new things. So you might hear me kind of spit on myself, repeat myself, whatever. But it's fun, you know? It's like I'm walking a tightrope. It's cool. You guys will love it. But anyway, like I said, we're not doing a traditional episode because we just came up at the end of 2025. Happy New Year, everybody. So it seems only fitting to do an episode on the best movies of 2025. Now, I could do a best books, a best shows of 2025, but honestly, books and shows are kind of things that I just like watch and read, like roguely. Like I read Tale of Two Cities last year. I'm not going to put that in best books of 2025. It's just kind of a mess. But I stay pretty topical with movies. So even though I have missed a few because I live in Oklahoma City in the middle of nowhere that doesn't show all the movies on time, I've missed a few foreign movies, notably The Secret Agent that won a few Golden Globes last night. I've seen like 90% of contenders that you're going to see on a lot of lists. So I want to give you my own list of what I thought were the 10 best movies of this year. So let's get started. At number 10, 28 years later, this guy came out in like April or something like that. So it's kind of cool to see a movie make it all the way through the year. But anyway, I'm a huge fan of the original. I think it's one of the best horror movies ever. 28 Days Later. If you haven't seen it, go watch it, please. It's got a little guy named Cillian Murphy, who you might recognize. Pretty popular guy now. But it's one of the best horror movies of our generation. And 28 Years Later does it a ton of justice. It's filmed insanely. Some of the shots are like, it's all filmed on iPhone, so it's filmed in some really, really fascinating ways. And it is legitimately super intense. But what makes this one in some ways almost better than the original is that it's also like really tender and heartfelt. There's like a huge tonal shift halfway through the movie, and it goes from like balls to the wall crazy zombie horror movie to this weird sort of rumination on death and how honestly important death is to treasuring life, which I did a ShoBooVie episode on earlier this year if you want to go check it out. But anyway, 28 years later starts off our list. It's the bomb, and the sequel, The Bone Temple, because they're randomly making a new trilogy of movies, but I don't care if they're all this good. Actually comes out this weekend, January 16th. So psyched for that. But anyway, that is number 10. And let's go ahead and watch the trailer for number 9, huh?
미국에서는 해고를 도끼질한다고 한다면서요. 한국에선 뭐라 그러는지 아세요? 넌 뭐하지야? 나는 내가 그거는 넌 마음으로 날 치지 않는다.
All right, so number 9 is No Other Choice, a Korean movie. Now, if you guys don't watch a lot of foreign movies, I highly recommend you start with freaking South Korea because those guys make some pretty fucking awesome movies. Between Bong Joon-ho that made Parasite, and then our guy here, Park Chan-wook, who's been making killer movies for like 20 years. I know you guys probably saw in the trailer, but he made Old Boy, which is just like a foreign classic. It's so good. One of my favorite movies ever. So really, really psyched for this. The film community was so pumped for this. A Park Chan-wook movie is just like an event. And this like did not disappoint. He's never really done like a full blast sort of like comedy like this, which this kind of is. It's like a crime comedy about this man who's fired from his job after decades and decides that the best way for him to get a new job is to literally kill off his competition. But he's by no means a good criminal, so it's all just a sloppy fucking mess, and it's awesome. It's kind of like a Coen Brothers vibe a little bit, but super, super entertaining. I think this is actually coming out in a lot of theaters this weekend, so you should totally go check it out, no matter what culture you're in or what language you speak. It's one of those things that's really resonant right now in terms of what this movie talks about with just how corporatization kind of grinds people to these nubs, how a lot of men tie in their masculinity to their jobs and providing and like all this garbage. And it's honestly just super entertaining and really funny and really, really dark comedy and really, really well acted by our main man here, who you might recognize from Squid Game. But anyway, that is number 9. No other choice. Number 8, Wake Up Dead Man, the new Knives Out movie. A lot of you have probably seen this already. I think it came out over Thanksgiving. I can't quite remember. But it's awesome. This is my favorite of the trilogy. It's actually proven to be kind of polarizing. Everyone seems to think it's pretty good, but some people think it's the worst of the 3, and some people think it's the best of the 3. I am in the latter party because this latest rendition of Daniel Craig's awesome Benoit Blanc, goofy fucking Kentucky Fried detective here, uh, the world's greatest detective, our modern Sherlock Holmes. What he kind of gets into here is another kind of whodunit, but Rian Johnson, the writer-director, who obviously did Glass Onion and Knives Out, the last 2, once again kind of turns this whodunit on its head and changes this into something that's totally different. He starts off with the whodunit. You have your whole all-star cast, and he's like, oh, which of these people did it? And then he totally just flips it and makes it something totally new. The cast is awesome. Glenn Close is a total standout, as always. She's a fucking legend. Josh Brolin, who's having a killer year, is so good. Josh O'Connor, who is just starting to just dominate the world. The guy is awesome. Sort of serves as Benoit's like sidekick, like Janelle Monáe and Ana de Armas were in the last couple movies. He is terrific, kind of carries the movie. And his character kind of represents what, for me, made this one better than the others, which is this gravity that the movie has about modern faith and how to have faith and optimism and positivity in the midst of all sorts of negative garbage going on in America today. So it kind of ties into religion, but it ties into just like a personal effect overall in terms of how we are all coping with what's happening in the world. So it takes that fun whodunit that the first 2 movies did. It gets rid of the whole eat the rich formula that the first 2 movies did, though, and replaces it with this sort of like existential twist. And it's really, really cool. I loved this movie. It's on Netflix now. So nice, cozy at-home watch. Go ahead and check it out. Let me know what you think. Number 7, another little teaser trailer here.
Mr. Graff, I can understand your passion, and I don't mind having these conversations with you because, God forbid, if it was my child, I'd be demanding answers too. Those kids walked out of those homes. No one pulled them out. No one forced them. What do you see that I don't?
Super vague teaser trailer there, guys, but that's because to tell you any more about the 7th movie on my list, Weapons, would be to spoil just an awesome ride. This movie is the bomb, guys. It's so fun. It's the same guy that made Barbarian a few years ago, which kind of flew under the radar a little bit, but that is one of my favorite horror movies of the like decade so far, and Weapons is better. And the premise of Weapons, like you kind of vaguely just saw, is that at one point at 2:17 at one night, Julia Garner, who you see here in this wild graphic poster here, she's a teacher, and all of the kids in her class walk out of their homes and just run into the night inexplicably. All of them except for one of them, and that is our beginning mystery as to why did all these kids just haul ass out of their houses in the dead of the night without a word. And then the movie just sort of unfolds from there. And again, to say anything else would be to spoil the awesome ride that Weapons is. But it's written in a really, really cool way, almost like a Rashomon style, like 6 different perspectives that all these like little sort of plots all tie in together, all these different character points of view, and has one of the best villains in recent memory, instantly iconic, Aunt Gladys over here, who might win an Oscar. Super rare for someone in a horror movie to win an Academy Award, but she is close, guys. She could do it. But anyway, this movie is awesome, full of a bunch of twists and turns, super fun to watch. Again, darkly comedic, has an insanely great payoff ending. And I believe this one's on HBO Max these days. So if you have Max, go and check it out. It is the bomb. Great cast, great plot. It's a great ride. Number 6, sentimental value. If any of you guys watched the Golden Globes, you probably saw this one talked about a little bit last night. But this is a Norwegian movie, or Norwegian-Danish movie, excuse me. And it kind of, again, it's flown under the radar because it's a foreign movie, but it is spectacular, guys. The same director, his name's Joachim Trier, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. He made this movie called Worst Person in the World, which got a few Oscar nominations a few years ago. Great movie. But this one is just like, I thought it was going to be just sort of like a intimate little family drama. You know, you have Stellan Skarsgård, who's kind of popping off again with Andor and everything. Familiar face, been in business forever. And his daughter, Renee Rensiv, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And he has another daughter too. And basically, he's just kind of like a prick, and he's trying to figure out how to better bond with his kids by making a movie and wanting to cast them in the movie. And so I kind of thought it would be like a kind of smaller, more intimate kind of movie, but it turns into this sort of this like sprawling family epic. It's super well written because it basically Trier examines like 4 generations of this family. And it's not like super long or anything. It's just like 2 hours or so long, but it's just like so finely detailed that he fleshes out this entire family tree. And the dialogue is amazing. It's supernatural. It's just like real people communicating real things with each other. And what makes it even better is they're having a really hard time communicating those real things to each other. So it's just really authentic relationships and emotions and interactions. And it's just really, really moving. And just one of the best casts of the year here too. So this looks like it might end up getting shorted by the Oscars a little bit, which would just be a crime because it's one of the best movies of the year. But if you're looking for sort of like a cozy kind of cry your eyes out kind of drama, I don't think this one's streaming just yet, but when it does, check it out because it is a great, great movie. Number 5, another little teaser.
World's an old place. Probably nothing it hasn't seen by now.
I don't know where the years go.
I feel it too. It's all going by so fast.
Bye-bye.
This world is intricately stitched together, boys. Every thread we pull, we know not how it affects the design of things.
Yeah, what do you do?
There must be something for us to learn from that.
Man, guys, this is kind of where we're getting into like masterpiece territory a little bit. Of this has turned into a great year for movies, and that's why like maybe the top sentimental value too. Our top 6 are just kind of like masterpieces. So anyway, we get to Train Dreams here at number 5, which, like you saw in the trailer, is made by the same folks who made Sing Sing last year. Which, if you didn't see Sing Sing, holy shit, it's just like emotionally punishing. Like that was my cry of the year last year. I was just like a weepy mess. It was so good. And they take that same kind of raw emotion and apply it to Train Dreams, which is the story of Joel Edgerton's character. He's a lumberjack in the early 1900s, basically trying to make sense of the world out in the wilderness and faced with a pretty substantial tragedy. And so he's basically just trying to figure out in the span of this whole wide world where he fits in, which who can't vibe with that, you know, where we fit in the world and what does life mean and why am I here and what does everything around me mean? How does it relate to myself? It's some pretty profound themes, guys. And a lot like Sing Sing. I mean, this one just wrecks you. It is a emotional ride, but it's told almost like a fairy tale. It has this like mythic proportion to it as you follow him through decades of life as he's trying to make sense of everything. And it's also filmed beautifully. One of the most beautiful shot films I've seen like in the 21st century. It's just gorgeous. They shoot it all out in the wilderness, out in like the northwest and stuff, and it is just fucking beautiful. So good. You walk out of seeing this movie with like a legitimate appreciation for life. Whew, it is amazing. That's how it shows how deep this year is, because this could be number one in a lot of other years. It's a fantastic movie. Anyway, going to number 4, Marty Supreme. You guys have probably heard about Marty Supreme because Timothée Chalamet is just everywhere right now. The guy is just like a titan, and deservedly so. I mean, starts with Call Me by Your Name. He's fantastic in that. He's fucking Paul Atreides in the Dune movies. He's rocking it there. And Marty Supreme, though, is his greatest accomplishment as an actor. It's Marty Supreme is the story of Marty Mauser. It's based on a true story, who is a ping pong champion and wants to be seen as the greatest ping pong champion in the world and prove it to the world. But he's also a totally egomaniacal, like, son of a bitch. He's very unlikable. But that's what makes Timothée Chalamet's performance so good, is that as unlikable as the character is, he still brings a charisma to that character that doesn't make him like repulsive. You still want to watch him and kind of want him to succeed, but you are also still repelled by him because of how he treats other people as he just trailblazes his way to what he wants. It's made by Josh Safdie, who made Uncut Gems and Good Time. So it has that same like chaotic, crazy energy for like 2.5 hours. It is a total roller coaster ride, but it is just one of those perfect unions of character and performance. Think of like Daniel Day-Lewis in There Will Be Blood, or shit, I can't, or Christoph Waltz in Inglourious Bastards. Like, it's just like you have the perfect actor who's perfectly calibrated to play an incredible character, and it's just a beautiful union of the two together. This is insanely entertaining. One of the most outrageously original movies I've seen in a long time. You have no idea where this movie's going. It's not predictable in the least, in the best way, as he just tries to scheme and trick his way into getting what he needs to be recognized as ping pong champion of the world. Who would have thought that a ping pong movie would be so engrossing and intense? But it really is. And Timmy's shooting for that Oscar. He's made that very clear, and he should get it because he is terrific in this. Number 3, Sinners. If you don't know about Sinners, what are you doing? Sinners is just awesome. Again, I think this came out in April or something too. A lot of people thought that this might honestly stink it up. They're like, why is Ryan Coogler, the dude that made like Black Panther and Creed and Fruitvale Station, making like a Southern vampire movie? Like, what is this dude up to? But man, Sinners just blew the pants off of people, my pants included. It's terrific. It's the story of Michael B. Jordan's characters plural. He plays twins, and it's amazing. Just trying to put together a party, putting together a juke joint, inviting all their childhood friends after they've been gone out of the where they grew up, went to Chicago and came back after like a decade. But of course, what the movie hits on, the big theme here, is how extraordinarily difficult it is for Black people to have a sense of freedom in America, because of course that gets invaded. The juke joint gets invaded by vampires, which the plot sounds pretty basic if you read it on paper, but the way that Ryan Coogler writes and directs this, it's sort of like Jordan Peelean a little bit, because he takes like a pulpy concept and makes it really, really deep. He explores some really, really interesting concepts here, like I said, freedom, community, sort of like a parasitic racial appropriation that happens a lot in America, individualism in America. It's pretty amazing, and and again, it's so entertaining. And he basically spends the first hour just introducing you to his characters. It's almost like a novel. It's like reading Stephen King or something. How deliberate Coogler is in fleshing out his universe before he really takes it to 11 with the fantastical stuff with the vampires and stuff. But beautifully shot, kind of like a perfect movie. It kind of checks all the boxes. It's insanely entertaining. This one's on Max too, I think. So go check it out if you haven't already. And if you haven't already, what are you doing? It's been out forever. It's a phenomenon. Number 2.
پا قشنگه رو پیدا کردم.
یه پاقورازه آورده اینجا.
آب بیاری.
مطمئنی خودشه؟
فقط میخوام کمکم کنی. افتادم تو شک. شما ببینید خودشه یا نه.
من یکی تو نفهمی خودشه یا نه دست بردار نیستم.
بریم بالا.
آدم ربایی جرم کمی نیست، اونم یه مأمور اطلاعاتی.
5 سال صبح تا شب تو خواب و بیداری دارم با چشم بسته دست میکشم رو پاش. ببین ما قاطر نیستیم، قرار نیست مثل اونا باشیم. چیز خاصی نداریم.
من خودم زن و بچه دارم، میفهمم چی داری میگی.
این کثافت امروز باید حرف بزنه.
این یه باطلاق عزیز من، آخرش همه تونم غرق میشیم.
حالا میخوای چیکار کنی؟
Whew. Number 2, guys. It was just an accident, which you probably haven't heard of because it's an Iranian movie that hasn't had, I don't think it ever really had a wide release here. I saw it at a local theater here in Oklahoma. But this is won the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival this year. And it's amazing. This was dangerously close to being my number 1. And basically, it's the story of an Iranian man who was tortured for years in an Iranian prison and believes that he's found the man who tortured him, but he can't be sure. So he finds a bunch of other folks who may have been tortured by that man as well, and they try to identify him. And then they have to figure out if it is him, how do they punish him? Do they punish him? Do they get even? Is it worth getting even? Is it worth the price of their own innocence and morals to level the playing field against a man who tormented them for years? It's pretty amazing, guys. It's super, super intense. Basically, the director and writer, Jafar Panahi, he had to film this like guerrilla style because he's been arrested in Iran before for making movies that don't fly so well with the Iranian government. And so he had to make this so he doesn't go back to jail. He's literally served time. So he kind of had to serve this guerrilla style in the middle of Iran, in the middle of cities. It's pretty crazy. So some of the shots are super, super long because they couldn't afford to do a bunch of editing and all this. So the shots are super long, super intricate. It's really intense. And again, sort of like sentimental value. This is another movie that portrays people really, really realistically because none of these people are criminals. Again, sort of like No Other Choice, too. None of them are criminals. None of them know what to do. They're all stumbling over themselves. They're all kind of clumsy. It's sort of darkly comedic in that way a little bit because they're all so uncertain as to how best to act and exact their revenge if this is the person that they're looking for. But yeah, super, super intense and really important because it kind of, again, live in a pretty contentious time in society right now. So you kind of have to wonder if you deal with negative people and hate, what do you do with them? Do you meet that hate with hate so that they know what it's like? Or do you try to be the better person? But how much harder is it to be the better person sometimes if you've been wronged in a horrible way? It was just an accident. Handles a lot of those things, and it is amazing. It's thrilling. It's funny. It's deep. So I honestly don't know how you watch this right now. You should totally look it up because it's very nearly the number 1 movie of the year for me. But not quite. Here is the number 1 movie of the year for me.
Bring it down, bro. Motherfucker. Here he comes. Put this in your backpack.
This is the end of the line, huh?
Not for you. Ocean waves. Ocean waves. I gotta ditch you, Kiwasabi. We're gonna hit it on foot.
On foot?
Yeah. Here we go. I'm gonna turn at this gas station. I'm gonna slow down and we talk and roll. I'll take it from there. Unbuckle and get ready.
Tuck and roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what freedom is?
What?
No fear. Just like
Tom Bucket Cruise.
okay, jump on 4. 1, 2,
Give me a gun!
3, go. Go.
4! Slow down!
Go.
4, Bob! Go 4!
Number one, One Battle After Another. What can you say? Made by my boy Paul Thomas Anderson. And you might think this is bias here, since I'm obsessed with Paul Thomas Anderson. He's my favorite director of all time, and I think he's just the GOAT. But this is actually universally seen as the best movie of the year, kind of by a wide margin. And it's also kind of universally seen as maybe the best movie made of the decade so far. Big titles, but it is worth it. I've seen it 3 times already. It's awesome. It's playing on Max right now. The story of Leonardo DiCaprio as a washed-up revolutionary, and Sean Penn, this malevolent government soldier who decides to go and try to track him down again from an old feud back in the day and try to find Leo's daughter, played by virtual newcomer Chase Infinity over there doing karate. One of the best casts you'll see in a movie like ever. It's one of the deepest casting benches. It just broke the Screen Actors Guild Awards record for most nominees because it's just that well acted a movie. And all these actors are playing such well written characters. Everyone I mentioned already, Tiana Taylor might win an Oscar for playing her character. Perfidia Beverly Hills, great name, another revolutionary. Benicio del Toro might win Best Supporting Actor for playing the super smooth revolutionary Sensei Sergio. But again, another movie that's super, super entertaining. It's almost 3 hours long, but it flies by. The pacing is unlike any movie you've ever seen. It's like a satire, buddy comedy, action movie, family drama, all jammed into one. It's also kind of like a political in a way because it's just bashing radicalism on both sides, basically telling you that no matter what kind of radical you are, you're not getting anything done unless you form an earnest connection with other human beings. And it's like a kind of a beautiful message in a way, but super entertaining. You can choose any way you want to watch this movie. You just want to be entertained, you can be entertained, or you can try to glean something really important from it. But regardless, this is the number one movie of the year. It's the fucking best. You're going to see it on a lot of end of decade lists. I promise you that. And that is my very long best movies of the year episode. So thank you for watching, guys. I appreciate you. I hope you got some good recs. I hope you go watch all these movies because they're awesome. Let me know if I missed any. Thank you so much for watching. Go on Facebook, go on Instagram, go on the website, all that shit. I appreciate you guys. You're awesome. I'll talk to you later.